Welcome to the Clarion Hotel in Myrtle Beach. This is the 2011 WPDE All Zone team. I'm Rich Grampanis. Around me, 60 outstanding players from the PD Grand Strand in North Carolina. And over the next hour, we'll look back on some amazing performances on the gridiron. Let's get right to work and take a look at the 2011 All Zone offense.
Here are the 2011 All Zone quarterbacks. Danny Daly of Carolina Forest had the best looking numbers when it comes to area quarterbacks. With over 2,100 yards, Daly had a fantastic TD to INT ratio, 26-4. Daly kept the Panthers' offense diverse, averaging 31 points a game. South Florence's Ethan Granger had huge numbers, #1 in the Zone Nation in attempts, completions, yards, and TD passes. Granger completed over 65% of his throws, firing for 28 touchdowns and over 2,600 yards in the air. He helped the Bruins make it to the second round of the Class 4A playoffs. For the second consecutive year, East Clarendon's Carlos HICKSON is a WPDE All-Zoner and a 1,000 man. HICKSON's numbers are outstanding. 3,000 combined yards passing and rushing, and 33 touchdowns through the air and on the ground. HICKSON finished 5th in the 2011 Zoneman balloting, the best ever finish for a Wolverine. He will play in the North-South All-Star game. The Loris Lions had a breakthrough year with 9 wins, and their leader was KENTREZ HILTON. You won't hear too many people call the Lions signal caller KENTREZ. He's simply known as Pig. Primarily a running quarterback, Hilton averaged over 6 yards a carry, piling up 938 yards, scoring 9 touchdowns. Now let's check out the 2011 All-Zone running backs. Harold Atkinson from Carolina Forest racked up more than 1,400 yards on the ground with 13 touchdowns. This 205-pound junior also caught 10 balls, 1 for a score, and made a big impact on defense for the Panthers. Johnsonville's TUSHAI Edwards cracked the 1,000-yard milestone for the Flashes, finding the end zone 11 times. Edwards is another two-way star who helped Johnsonville earn a spot in the Class 1A playoffs. Marion's KEYONTA FOXWORTH is a danger to score anytime he touches the football. This speed merchant averaged nearly 11 yards a carry with 17 trips to the end zone. Foxworth accumulated nearly 1,400 yards on the ground. This remarkable junior helped the Swamp Foxes to a 40-7 win over Mullins to capture the Tobacco Bowl and later into the second round of the state playoffs. 170-pound senior Greg Johnson from St. James was the area's second leading rusher with nearly 1,600 on the ground. He was the Sharks' bell cow with more carries, 233, than any back in the end zone nation. Johnson scored 14 TDs this season. Sherraw's Marvin Lauderdale had more than 1,000 yards rushing and scored 19 times for the Braves. Lauderdale has been selected to play in the Shrine Bowl as an athlete, meaning he can play multiple positions on both sides of the ball. Hemingway's LaMichael Pushia was the area rushing leader with more than 2,000 yards. Pushia has speed getting to the corner and is excellent in space. He scored 29 touchdowns this season for the Class 1A Division I state runner-up Tigers. Pushia will compete in the North-South All-Star game. Hartsville junior running back Trey Samuel toted the leather for over 1,100 yards this season for the Red Foxes. He had an amazing 9.9 yards a carry. Samuel was a big reason why Hartsville made it to round 2 of the 3A playoffs. DEVARUS Spain was a highlight reel for Green Sea Floyds. The 175-pound senior had 2 games with more than 200 rushing yards. Spain finished the season with more than 1,200 yards. Lakeview's Kenneth Turner led the Wild Gators to a state championship appearance with a solid season running the football. He amassed over 1,100 yards on the ground and 15 touchdowns, including this score in the state title game. Turner was a 4-year starter who ran for more than 3,000 career yards with 44 touchdowns at Lakeview. Now it's time to take a look at the all-zone receivers. Marlboro County's Malik Ford had 39 catches for nearly 500 yards this year. He's a deep threat for the Bulldogs and an excellent return man. He also doubles as a shutdown corner on Dean Boyd's defense. Malik Ford will play in the North-South All-Star game. Hartsville's Trey Gaddison led the area in receiving yards this year. Gaddison had 46 catches for more than 1,000 yards and 15 touchdowns. This 175-pound junior is a game breaker, averaging more than 23 yards a catch for the Red Foxes. North-South All-Star Jarvez Holmes from Carolina Forest is a two-time WPDE All-Zoner. Holmes had 45 grabs for over 700 yards and 7 touchdowns. He also had 5 interceptions playing defensive back for the Panthers. Wilson's Braxton Ivory is a versatile player at every skill position on the field. At wideout, Ivory had 24 catches for more than 500 yards with 8 TDs. Ivory averaged more than 23 yards a catch his senior season for the Tigers. South Florence Bruins senior wide receiver Shannon James had 58 catches for over 800 yards. This 5'7" Mighty Mite has an uncanny ability to get open. James caught 8 touchdown passes and helped South Florence to their 3rd consecutive state playoff appearance. The Bruins' leading receiver is Tavon Johnson. He was tops in the area in total catches with 63. Johnson had more than 800 yards through the air with 8 trips to the paint. Lamar's Akeem Peoples averaged more than 16 yards a catch this year. He made some clutch plays for the Silver Foxes, 34 catches for 560 yards and 4 touchdowns, helping Lamar to a Class 1A playoff appearance. Conway's Cole Watson is the ultimate possession receiver. He's an excellent route runner with great hands and the ability to come up with first down yardage to keep drives alive. Watson had 35 catches, 6 for touchdowns. He is the son of Coastal Carolina assistant football coach Drew Watson. Tremond Wilson was the Myrtle Beach Seahawks' top receiver this season. He tied for the most TD catches in the area with 15. Wilson caught 39 passes for 765 yards. That's nearly 20 yards per reception. Here are the all-zone offensive linemen. 6'4", 285-pound Bernard Brooks of the Conway Tigers is an excellent pass blocker and has great technique on run blocks. He's one of Conway's team captains who inspires teammates. It's no wonder Brooks has been selected to play in the North-South All-Star Game. Langston Brown was a 4-year starter for the Timminsville Whirlwinds. The 6'3", 365-pound center graded out consistently above 95% with 12 pancake blocks. With a 3.9 GPA, Brown is being looked at by a number of Ivy League schools. Sockasty center Craig Burton was a 3-year starter for the Braves. At 6'4", 280 pounds, he helped give the Sockasty option offense a big push up front while terrorizing opposing nose guards. The Dillon Wildcats have a pair of outstanding linemen that are highly recruited. 6'4", 288-pound Bryce King sets the tone for Dillon at center. 6'6", 305-pounder DJ Park is at tackle. The duo open up the holes for JABO Lee. Both players are piling up Division I offers, including South Carolina, Clemson, and the LSU Tigers. Bad news for 2A opponents. Both players have one more year left to play for Jackie Hayes and the Dillon Wildcats. Marlboro County's Thomas Ocean was a 2-way starter on the Bulldogs line his senior season. This 6'3", 260-pound senior was Marlboro County's anchor on the offensive line at left tackle. Ocean is a straight-A student who's ranked among the top 10 in his class at Marlboro County High. Hannah Pamplico's Forrest McDaniel is a WPDE All-Zoner for a 2nd straight year. At 6'5", 290 pounds, McDaniel graded out at 92% on the offensive line with 15 pancakes. The senior also owns a 3.6 GPA and is ranked in the top 10 of his class. Hartsville junior Ed Reed is a 5'11", 235-pound fire plug. He's quick off the snap, and he's a tremendous run blocker for the Red Foxes' misdirection offense that averaged nearly 35 points a contest. For the first time in 8 years, a Latta Viking is a WPDE All-Zoner. 6'4", 275-pounder Donnell Stanley is only a sophomore, and he's already garnered offers from South Carolina and Clemson and has been invited to the Under Armour National Combine. Stanley had 95 tackles, including 15 tackles for loss on the defensive side of the football.
Time for us to take a break. When we come back, we'll meet the 2011 All-Zone defense. That's when we return to the Clarion Hotel right after this. Welcome back to the 12th annual Chevy End Zone Banquet. A little bit later in the show, we'll meet the 4 finalists for WPDE's Zoneman Trophy. But now it's time to take a look at the 2011 All-Zone defense.
Here are the All-Zone defensive linemen. Myrtle Beach lineman Kerry Chestnut uses his high motor and thick build to overpower opposing players. This 220-pounder doubled as a starting defensive end and tight end for the Seahawks. Chestnut had 90 tackles, including 7 sacks his senior season, and scored 3 defensive touchdowns. Georgetown's Lee Sean Cromedy is a nightmare for offensive linemen and quarterbacks. This 250-pound senior had 89 tackles and 3 sacks this season for the Bulldogs. Teams tend to run away from number 77. Cromedy will compete in the North-South game. Dillon's Archie Gilchrist is one of the most athletic defensive linemen in the area. He was the leader on the Wildcats' Nasty Cats defense that recorded 8 shutouts this season. Gilchrist made more than 80 stops his senior year. He will play in the North-South All-Star game. If you want 2 tickets to the gun show, 6'3", 210-pound Dwayne Gunn of West Florence High is your man. He was the area sack leader with 16. Gunn is hard to block, has blinding speed for a big man, and has an amazing 45-inch vertical jump. In track, Gunn ran both the 100 and 200 meters for the Knights. He's a 2-time All-Zoner. Darlington's Christian Jett loves to mix it up on the line. He played both tight end and defensive end for the Falcons. Jett has a quick first step. He's a sure-handed tackler who made 90 stops. He was among the area leaders in sacks his junior year. Jett has been selected to play tight end in the North-South All-Star game, largely because of his excellent blocking skills. Myrtle Beach senior Tyler Knox was one of the most highly recruited players in the area. This 6'5", 225-pound specimen has committed to play at NC State next fall. He turned down offers from South Carolina, Miami, and Oklahoma State. Knox had 100 tackles and 7 sacks his senior season, including 21 tackles for loss. Neil Pope helped the Andrews Yellow Jackets reach new heights in 2011 with 8 wins. The 4-year starter had 90 solo tackles and 12 sacks. Pope also started at guard on the Jackets' offensive line. Myrtle Beach High's Trey Vivian was a 3-year starter for the Seahawks. This 265-pounder has quick feet and a nose for the football. Vivian made 95 tackles with 7 sacks. He's quiet off the field, but made plenty of noise under the Friday night lights for Myrtle Beach. Time to check out the all-zone linebackers. Lake City's DeVarus Brunson was the area's 3rd leading tackler with 174. He also had 10 sacks his junior season for the Panthers. Brunson runs a 4.6 40 and is already getting looks from Division I schools. Mason Edwards led the South Florence Bruins in tackles this season with 138. This junior linebacker can also play wide receiver. He's a tough kid who punishes ball carriers. Edwards was a major factor in the Bruins' march to the 2nd round of the 4A state playoffs and a solid 8-win season. D.L. Griffin from Loris High pulled double duty at fullback and linebacker for first-year head coach Jamie Snyder. Griffin is a 225-pound bruiser who helped the Lions get off to an 8-0 start. The Loris defense, led by Griffin, gave up less than 13 points a contest this year and made it to the 2nd round of the Class 2A playoffs. Lakeview junior Darius Leonard led the Wild Gators in tackles this season with 118. In addition to playing linebacker, he also played running back and wide receiver, piling up over 800 yards of total offense with 7 touchdowns. Leonard was Mr. Everything for Lakeview in their run to an appearance in the Class 1A Division II state championship game. Rembert Timmons from Mullins led the Auctioneers defense with 117 tackles and 4 sacks. He has the ability to make game-changing plays. Timmons never came off the field. On offense, he rushed for over 400 yards with 4 TDs. Hemingway's J.D. Williams led the Tigers defense with 161 tackles this season on the way to the school's first ever state championship appearance. Williams also had 4 sacks on Hemingway's stingy defense that gave up less than 7 points a game. Ainer's Hunter Wyndham is deceptively fast. On offense, he ran for over 700 yards with 7 trips to the zone. Wyndham was a two-way starter for head coach Jody Generette, who says he's one of the smartest players he ever coached. Wyndham is a leader both on and off the field, and best of all, he's a straight-A student. Here are the all-zone defensive backs. Deshaun Aiken from Carvers Bay had 3 interceptions his senior season for the Bears. He's great in coverage and quick to the ball as a run stopper. Aiken also split time at quarterback this season, throwing 3 touchdown passes and running for 5 more. Conway's Malcolm Green has played on both sides of the ball for the Tigers. This year, he was a key member of the defense at free safety. Green had 6 interceptions this year and made 78 tackles. Green is also a dangerous wide receiver who caught 3 TD passes his junior season for Chuck Jordan. The area interception leader is Brandon Hampton. The Timmonsville junior had 9 picks, 1 of them returned for a touchdown. Hampton added 70 tackles, a sack, and was good for 300 yards on offense with 3 more scores. Coach Jimmy Woods says Brandon is a student of the game who has an incredible work ethic. Wilson's Brandon K. King is a 2-time WPDE All-Zoner. The senior had 46 tackles and 3 interceptions. Tigers coach Darrell Page utilized this versatile athlete in the run game, pass game, and on special teams. The 2-time All-Region selection had over 600 all-purpose yards. Dillon's Kevin Lynch is a high-energy headhunter on the Wildcats defense that led the area, allowing just 3 points a game. Weighing just 162 pounds, Lynch brings the noise with his pads. He had just 2 interceptions his senior year because most teams decided it was not a good idea to throw to his area. Lynch will play in the North-South All-Star game. Conway's Robert Nelson has great instincts on defense. Head coach Chuck Jordan says he plays the game with enthusiasm in the Tigers' defensive backfield. This 175-pound senior led Conway with 126 tackles. Nelson is a versatile player who switched from quarterback to DB. Last season, Nelson's throw to Rory Howard was voted the A&I Touchdown Pass of the Year. Nelson has been picked to play in the Shrine Bowl. Zach Shields from West Florence finished his senior year in style. This 150-pound DB had 7 interceptions to lead the Knights. Shields was a big-time playmaker on defense, helping West Florence to a signature win at Conway. The Knights went on to win the Region 6 4A championship and a trip to the playoffs. Aaron Williams from Carolina Forest was a showstopper. He had 4 interceptions on defense, and he was equally impressive on offense. The 175-pound senior had 40 catches for over 600 yards and 8 touchdowns for the Panthers. DeQuarius Wilson from Myrtle Beach High made 124 tackles for the Seahawks. He's all over the field, whether in coverage or stopping the run. This senior had 4 sacks this year and made 4 interceptions, plus 5 touchdown catches at wide receiver. He has been selected to play in the Shrine Bowl. This year's all-zone kicker is Max Huggins of Myrtle Beach High. Huggins hit 60 of 63 extra point tries. He led the area with 5 field goals, including a long of 40 yards. He's got a strong leg. Nearly half of his kickoffs this year were touchbacks. Off the field, Huggins enjoys surfboarding and wakeboarding. He's also a solid student in the classroom.
Time for us to step away. When we come back, we'll look at the A&I Plays of the Year. That's when the Chevy End Zone Banquet continues right after this. Welcome back to the 12th Annual Chevy End Zone Banquet here at the Clarion Hotel in Myrtle Beach. Thanks to all the great fans of the Chevy End Zone, thousands logged on to cast their vote for the top plays captured by WPDE cameras. The winners of tonight's A&I Plays of the Year got a ticket to the Chevy End Zone Banquet. So let's take a look at the winners voted by you, the fans, for the Plays of the Year. Another great year of high school football plays. Thanks so much to A&I Fire and Water Restoration for sponsoring our top 5 throughout the season and bringing you the A&I Plays of the Year. Time for us to step away. When we come back, we're going to head over the border and introduce you to the North Carolina Player of the Year. That's when the Chevy End Zone continues right after this. Welcome back to the Chevy End Zone. Besides the great schools in the state of South Carolina, over the border in North Carolina, Diefenbach Chevrolet helped bring us great high school action and a state champion from the Tar Heel State. Let's take a look at what a great season Scotland County had and why they won 2 North Carolina Players of the Year. For the first time since 2006, the Zone Nation does not have a state champion in South Carolina. But over the border, it was a dream season for the Fighting Scots from Scotland County. Chip Williams' team was simply dominant in 2011. Their closest game was a 16-point victory, and among the wins in the regular season, a 42-7 win over Marlboro County and a 41-7 triumph at arch rival Richmond County. Scotland County's postseason run featured a 248-point outburst and a first-ever trip to the state championship. The Scots battled Porter Ridge at Wake Forest for the 4A title, and Mark Haggard had the highlights.
The Scotland County Fighting Scots played Porter Ridge for the North Carolina Class 4A championship. Scotland fell behind 13-0 early, but check out the Scots. Tony McRae on the pitch, and he's in the zone. And later, Quashawn Quick takes to the air for Scotland. Watch this pretty play. Throwing deep for the score to Travis Wall. He's got it. Nothing but green grass in front of him, and the Scots pour it on in the second half. They turned that early deficit into a rout on defense. Look at the big guy, Chris Tyndall, with the interception. He takes it the other way for the score, and Scotland County, folks, won the game 42-16. They finished the year as 4A champions and finished with a perfect season. Congratulations to the Fighting Scots, their first ever state championship.
Quarterback Carshawn Quick was named the MVP of the state championship game. He's heading to the Shrine Bowl, along with defensive back and returner Isaiah Robinson. Congratulations to Carshawn Quick and Isaiah Robinson, this year's WPDE 2011 North Carolina Players of the Year.
Thanks, Rich. I am surrounded by state champions, and Chip Williams just 4 short years ago took over the Scotland County program in Laurinburg, North Carolina, and brings home the school's first state championship. Coach, you have got to be really gratified by what the kids did this year. You weren't even challenged this year by your opponents. Your closest game was a 2-touchdown margin in your favor.
Well, we've had a lot of great kids and a lot of commitment from them, and it's good to see their hard work pay off.
All right, Quashawn Quick, the quarterback of the Fightin' Scots. Boy, you had some sick numbers this year. Talk to me about your year and how the town is feeling right now as you're on cloud 9.
They feeling great. Had a good year this year. Had good athletes around us. Had a perfect season.
You guys, like I just talked to Chip about, were really unchallenged this year. You were that much better than everyone else.
That's why I said, well, this summer coming out, working out hard, ain't nobody be close to touch us.
Well, there are 36 seniors graduating on this team, and good luck to you next year.
Good luck to them.
All right, the Scotland County Fightin' Scots, state champions. Rich, back to you.
Thanks, Mark. When we come back, we meet the finalists for the 2011 WPDE Zoneman Trophy. For the past 11 years, the Zoneman Trophy has signified excellence in high school football when it comes to our backyard. This year's crop of contenders for the Zoneman Trophy are once again outstanding representatives of their community in this area when it comes to high school football. Mark Haggard introduces us to this year's finalists for the Zoneman Trophy.
Here are the finalists for the 2011 Zoneman. 4 men are on the podium, 2 juniors and 2 seniors. Here they are in alphabetical order. Dillon Jr., JABO Lee. Conway Jr., Michael Moody. Dillon Sr., Quentin Smith. And Hemingway Sr., Jabril Solomon.
Hi, I'm Dillon, running back, JABO Lee, and I want to win the Zoneman.
Michael Moody, quarterback for Conway High School, and I want to win the Zoneman.
Hi, I'm Quentin Smith, wide receiver at Dillon High School, and I want to win the Zoneman.
Hi, my name is Jabril Solomon from Hemingway High School, and I play wide receiver, and I want to win the Zoneman Trophy.
Dillon Wildcats running back JABO Lee averaged more yards per carry than anyone in the area. More than 11 yards every time he ran the ball.
I just feel like everything is coming in slow motion, so majority of the time I only see one person at a time, but I also feel like I see a lot of my players around me.
I think what JABO, one of the best things about him, JABO is he's the ladies' man around here. And I mean, we joke around with him about how everywhere you go at the games at school, you see some girl with number 2 on their back or on their face. And so we give him a hard time about that.
JABO is the area's leading scorer with more than 30 touchdowns on the year. He is also a devastating return man for the Wildcats.
The good thing about him, you know, the bigger the game, the bigger the production. He always shows up in the big games.
JABO is quiet, does not like attention, but he's getting plenty of it from colleges around the country.
Tennessee, Clemson, Virginia Tech, Oregon, Alabama.
He's a tremendous talent who knows what he wants to do after football.
My dreams last, I want to go to school and do physical therapist, but if physical therapy don't work out, I'm definitely playing football.
JABO is powerful, able to break tackles. He also runs the 40 in 4.4 seconds.
He's got practice speed and game speed, and, you know, that game speed's a little bit different. And, you know, I hadn't seen a lot of people run him down or catch him from behind.
Winning state championships is serious business at Dillon. And when it's all over after next season for JABO Lee, number 2 wants only one thing from his high school head coach.
I want Coach Hayes to hang my jersey up before I leave. Like that's one of the goals I have, and another goal, I just want to win all the state championships while I'm here. Like away from football and school, I'm always around my mom to make sure she's all right. So I guess you could say I'm a mama's boy.
Our next Zoneman finalist is Conway quarterback Michael Moody. An injury caused him to miss his entire sophomore season. And despite missing a game and a half this year, he still ran for 30 touchdowns and led the Tigers to the Class 4A playoffs.
I've been growing up playing basketball, but when I moved to Conway, I mean, just meeting Coach Jordan and everything else, and then coming out here, I seen that it was a good tradition playing football, so I decided just to play football and basketball.
Moody's signature win came when he ripped off 2 long runs in this win over defending state 3A champion Myrtle Beach High to bring the victory bell back to Conway.
MALIK is extremely fast. He's 182 or 3 pounds, is very strong, and has great acceleration. He comes out of the hole in a hurry. And plus, he's a competitor. And so, you know, when you add all those things up, it's a remedy for a good football player.
With Moody at the helm, Conway averaged more than 30 points a game. Moody is known for his running ability, racking up nearly 1,500 yards on the ground this season. Through the air, Moody threw for over 1,500 with 17 TD passes.
My strengths are just looking for openings, running the ball if it's there, throwing it, just making plays when the play break down.
Nobody in the area with 200 or more passes completed a higher percentage than Moody. He says winning a state championship is high on his list before graduation.
I want to go far. I want to go to college and everything, get my degree, and then hopefully, if God will, to play in the NFL.
Moody says Conway head coach Chuck Jordan has molded him into the star he is today.
Coach Jordan meant a lot to me, just from day one, coming in from my 8th grade year. He taught me from bottom up. He taught me the motion of quarterback from the balls, my hand motions, just learning defense, everything.
Moody is humble, quick to give credit to others, and a bit gullible at times.
One time he missed a practice, and my big thing when you miss practice, you better let me know, because if you don't, I'm going to deal with you. Well, he went home sick, missed practice, and he talked with one of the other coaches but didn't tell me. When we came back the next day, I told him he was off the team, that I was done with him. If he was going to miss practice and not let me know, he was through. And I let him live with that for about an hour or two. And then I brought him back in after the next period and said, by the way, MALIK, Coach did tell me that you weren't going to be here and you were homesick, and it's okay.
Moody also plays basketball at Conway High, but his future ticket is clearly on the football field. This young man says his education comes before athletics.
That's a big part of my life. My favorite subject probably would have to be math.
Our next Zoneman finalist is wide receiver Quentin Smith. He finished his senior season with more than 30 catches for over 600 yards.
Well, my role on this team is try to be, I'm a leader, one of the leaders on this team. I try to keep these guys upbeat and ready to go every week.
At 6'4", Smith is almost unstoppable. He has 4.5 speed in the 40, a great route runner with sure hands, and the ability to take any reception to the end zone.
You know, he's a Division I football player. Causes a lot of problems for defenses with his size, and you know, causes a lot of matchup problems. And you know, a lot of people's got to decide: are they going to double cover Quentin Smith, or are they going to keep another man in the box to defend the run against JABO Lee?
Perhaps the most frightening for opponents is when he lines up with JABO Lee on kickoff and punt returns. Smith is just as capable of making his way to pay dirt.
Quentin means a lot. He means a lot. Like, he takes a lot of pressure off me and off the quarterback. Like, even if Quentin has a good DB on him, Quentin make sure he goes out and do what he has to do, catch the ball or make sure the team is in a good position.
No area player was more heavily recruited this year. Smith turned down offers from Auburn, LSU, Alabama, Florida, and Notre Dame. Quentin Smith has committed to the Gamecocks. He says he will play wide receiver in football and in the outfield for Ray Tanner's defending national champion baseball team.
To me, in my heart, I feel like Carolina they're one of the up-and-coming big programs that, I mean, people don't know about. And, I mean, it's only getting better with time. And the guys that we have building up and coming together are some of the best guys around here.
Quentin Smith is a first cousin of former Dillon great Derek Hamilton, who was the second leading receiver in Clemson history.
I mean, I try to follow his footsteps, and he's my role model right now. He's helping me and guiding me through this time as I'm going through this process. So, I mean, I look to get there to that point one day, and I mean, try to make not only myself proud, but the town of Dillon.
Quentin Smith will represent the South Carolina All-Stars in the Shrine Bowl. Our last Zoneman finalist is Hemingway wide receiver Jabril Solomon. He's perhaps the best all-around player in the area on offense and defense combined. The past 2 seasons, he had 25 TD catches and more than 2,000 receiving yards.
I don't think when I was a kid I picked up football. I wasn't like really a sports type person. You know, I like to play basketball a lot. I was a big basketball fan, so when I came back down here from Columbia, I started liking football because my parents wanted me to play, so I tried it out and I started to like it.
He put all his heart into it, and he's just a heck of a guy to be around, you know.
The 6'2", 185-pound Solomon never comes off the field. He's a game-changing return man. On defense, he led the area with 10 interceptions his junior year. This year, he had half that number because quarterbacks decided it was not a good idea to throw his way.
Jabril is the only kid I've ever had that he hit a player from, I think we're playing Green Sea Floyds, and hit one of their players so hard on the crackback block that the kid's mama actually come on the field and cussed me out. So, like I said, that's definitely one for the book we're going to write one of these days.
Solomon comes from a large family, 5 sisters and 6 brothers. He's a speed merchant who also brings physical toughness. He can be either a possession receiver to get yards needed for a first down or make big plays like this spectacular catch against rival Carvers Bay. Solomon has done everything the Tigers have needed, including making the A&I top play of the week with this end reverse for a touchdown while running over a defender on his way to the end zone.
I like to play offense. I love to catch the ball. Love making touchdowns. Love getting in the end zone. And the crowd go crazy.
Solomon, who averaged more than 20 yards a catch this year, has committed to play at East Carolina.
I always wanted to go to college, play football. So, you know, keep working hard and do what you got to do. You can make it.
Jabril Solomon will play for the South Carolina All-Stars in the Shrine Bowl. Once again, here they are, the 4 Zoneman finalists. Dillon running back JABO Lee, Conway quarterback Michael Moody, Dillon wide receiver Quentin Smith, and Hemingway wide receiver Jabril Solomon.
And when we come back, we'll meet the 2011 WPDE Zoneman winner. We're back here at the Clarion Hotel in Myrtle Beach to announce the 2011 WPDE Zoneman winner. 40 ballots are cast every year for the Zoneman, 34 area head coaches, plus 6 local media members. 3 points for a first place vote, 2 for second, 1 for third. I'll recap once again the 4 outstanding young men on this podium: Jabril Solomon from Hemingway, Michael Moody from Conway, and 2 Dillon Wildcats, JABO Lee and Quentin Smith. And the time has come to make the big announcement. The Zoneman Trophy has been in so many great towns. One town it hasn't visited yet is Dillon, but that's about to change. JABO Lee has won the 2011 Zoneman Trophy. JABO, congratulations. An electrifying year. I know you wanted a state championship, but this might be the next best thing, right?
Yes, sir.
What would you like to say to all the great folks in Dillon? You're bringing this trophy to that great town for the very first time.
Well, I want to give a special thanks to everybody that kept me going, and the team and Quentin. He kept everybody on their feet every game. So, and I want to give special thanks to Coach Hayes and his wife too. They look at me while I'm in school, so they help me get through everything.
What does it mean for you to be standing here holding this trophy, knowing some of the names that have been on it, like Lawrence Timmons from the Steelers, Bruce Taylor, who's playing at Virginia Tech right now, Everett Golson, who's at Notre Dame, and now your name's on this trophy? What does that mean to you?
It feels good to be up here being there. All those players came through here, and all of them, like, they play in, like, college and NFL, so it feels real good to come through here and get the trophy and take it back to Dillon.
Here's the big question. Where's this trophy going to go?
Oh, I'm going to give it to my moms.
He's a good man, JABO Lee. Mom certainly deserves it.
To summarize the Zoneman voting, JABO Lee captured 14 first-place votes in a panel of 40 area coaches and media members to win by a comfortable margin. Conway's MALIK, who ran for nearly 1,500 yards and 30 touchdowns, was the runner-up. Did the right guy win, the Zoneman?
Oh, yes, sir. I mean, he's a really good player. I mean, he had a really good year, so, I mean, he deserved it.
Hemingway wide receiver Jabril Solomon finished third in the voting. Solomon has committed to play at East Carolina.
I mean, it feels good. I enjoy tonight. I mean, it's Hemingway's first time ever have somebody on the finalist Zoneman, so it feels good.
JABO Lee's teammate and Gamecocks commitment Quentin Smith finished fourth in the balloting. Smith says he was happy that a fellow Wildcat won the award.
JABO worked hard all his years, and I mean, he showed off this year for us.
All right, Rich, Jackie Hayes, his guy JABO Lee won the Zoneman. 12 zone banquets. What took you so long to get a Zoneman?
I guess y'all didn't get the voting right. No, we're awfully proud of JABO. You know, ultimate team player. Just, you know, honored to have two players up there, he and Quentin, and some other guys here tonight. And it's all about the team at Dillon. And both these guys, you know, gave a lot. Their stats could have been incredible, but, you know, a lot of times we got ahead in games and they didn't get an opportunity to play a lot. But what they did is, you know, the ultimate team goal, and it's all about winning as a team.
Jackie Hayes of the Dillon Wildcats, his man JABO Lee, wins the 2011 Zoneman Trophy.
Congratulations to JABO Lee. He'll try and win another one of these big fellas next year. For Mark Haggard and everyone behind the scenes, I'm Rich Krampanis. Thanks so much for watching here at the Chevy End Zone Banquet.